Hi and welcome to tonight's game. LaneSmash Season 5, Weekend 2. GSG versus VOON on the Manny to Freya lane on Ezomir. I'm your main host Dots, and my co-caster tonight is Graham, and she just popped out for a second, but in the meantime we're just going to go look at what sort of force composition both teams have. We're literally maybe 2 to 3 minutes away from starting. NC here with the typical Reavers and Bastions, pretty much the hallmark of any sort of planet side event. Quite a heavy use of Vanguard and Sunderers, ready to go down this road, down to Aurora Materials. Quite a similar setup by the VS. Obviously with more galaxies and mag riders. Not a lot of air seen in so far. With both teams pretty much starting very close to one another. This is probably one of the most smallest lanes of this season.
1 minute to match.
With 1 minute about to go. We're quite contested. And that is the VSR right there. Followed by the NC. It's going to be quite interesting to see who managed to get on our materials first.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Apparently, VOON lost in their scrim.
Everyone wins and loses.
Yeah, that's the thing, and you never know who's gonna let it go to their head and not work at it, because you always got to work at it. Oh, land whale's telling me it's Bastion time.
4,
I'm missing out.
3, 2, 1. Match start. Match start.
Alright, I'm preparing for this air battle because they definitely have air right now.
It's always the case, no matter what the event. Some people pull yourself just to bail, and some will just fight. Okay, it looks cinematic. NC Galaxy first on the roof.
6, 2, 3
Yeah, I
on
like this
VS
live
was
blow
outside
flying
the warp gate
VS
at match
gal.
start, or outside home base at match start. Please go back to your home base.
This is a very difficult
Just that player.
lattice.
Just that player back to your
So
home base.
I'm interested to see how this goes. I wonder if they've been practicing specifically here or just
That
online.
player needs to stay in the warp gate for 3 minutes. Again, just that player in the warp gate for 3 minutes.
Somebody was naughty. Alright, GSG's got a pretty good setup here. Maxes, the whole 9 yards. Let's just hope that that expenditure of nanites does not go to waste. I'm gonna just go and watch the small door. Because if VOON knows their stuff, they'll do some sort of a pincer. Maybe big stair and small stair. Get some lights.
We are still hearing your keycaps.
Damn it! Sorry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. NC on corridor here, watching small and big stairs. Not quite as max heavy as some other teams this season. VS Galaxy Bulldogs trying to focus the doorway.
So VOON is set up over here in the the double stack that's next to this powerhouse building. All right, they're planning something. I don't know if they're just probing or if they're actually planning on trying to breach up that small stair, because they still have that infiltrator on top of the building. They have a spawn, but it's not going to last long. It's a deploy shield bus, and then they've got this rep galaxy. Hopefully people can just hear my keycaps when I'm actually speaking. If they can hear them constantly, then I'm gonna go cry out of my lean cuisine after this. Alright, we've got some more VOON that are trying to amass. They better do something soon. Biding their time. That may be a legitimate tactic.
The base is a neutral base, so you don't have to worry about that hard spawn. They could just essentially focus down the NC spawn solutions while stacking up. We start to see VS Maxes joining on small stairs, ready for a push, but that is probably the strongest part of the NC defensive right now. We start to see a probing to the lower doors, NC switching their Maxes to big stairs. Grenades going out.
3 can now return to play.
Alright, so maybe they're waiting.
2 VS charging, unsupported. Will they get picked?
Alright, good use of the hard light barrier on small stair. We've got 3, 4 maxes coming up small stair. Alright, 1 max down. I don't think they brought enough NGs to make this work. Damn. Alright.
The push on small stairs gets decimated. NC switching to what remains of the VS on big stairs.
Alright, well they're focusing on that recovery area right now. So if they have an ambitious light assault, probably take out 2 or 3 people before dying. Oh, here they are. Already, 1 is down. 1 is waiting.
All it would take is 1 C4 over that balcony, over that ledge, over that banister.
Alright, we got another light assault incoming, but they're watching a little more closely now. They gave themselves away, unfortunately. Alright, they're back in server room, waiting for that VOON push on the double back. I see those maxes waiting at small stairs, pushing up again. Ah.
The push stopped by a hard light barrier. VS Max is going in. NC Max is switching.
No, that was just bad timing. They let their light assaults at double back die. They should have pushed at the same time. Of course, it's easy to say that when you got the best seat in the house, but...
GSG with the cap. Now able to use that hard spawn to really start pushing out and dealing with the VS spawns. Do they have anybody on the next base? There's the NC population there. I'm just going to fly over there and see who is the potential infiltrator.
All I see is VS corpses right now. Hopefully they, the VS can get some PPA scythes to suppress the spawn. If they could suppress the spawn, they might be able to take it.
VS seems to have killed the NC player gone for the back cap.
We have a pretty effective medic ball at small stair, but NC is now probing out of the back door, looking for a little affection from VS.
From what I've seen of other teams on this lane, other teams have been really keen to get like Sunderers or even Mag Riders and Vanguard into this base as force multipliers, and I'm not seeing that yet.
I understand the sexiness of it, but I don't always feel like it does much. You really have to have people who know the terrain and can really maneuver in these narrow spaces in order for that to be effective. Oh, the air hammer, that's gotta hurt. That Max is nearly dead. They gotta get an NG to him.
Goodbye, little guy.
I'm gonna head over to the next base. Let's see what we got here. Point is flipping at geothermal. We have a couple of spawn beacons up. I think those are being decapitated right now. Alright, VS are starting to populate fair geothermal. Let's see what the VS do. And they've got that hard spawn, which is a nominal advantage, but there's this huge open space between the spawn and that building, so those air hammers are going to hurt.
We start to see VOON now mass redeploying back to the base, hoping to quickly get NC off of that point. VS Mag Riders slowly going around the perimeter, trying to look for any potential hard spawns. NC quite light on the defenses here. Beacon goes down. Point pretty much left defensive. One infiltrator left standing. And one man.
They're already turtling. That would certainly be a way to do it. I mean, it's certainly better to get the 2 versus the 2 points versus 1, but
NC with Maxes on the roof, Galaxy drop onto the stairwell, crashing into the few VS sent to resecure. Resonates go out for VS.
oh, that's the end of that. I'm gonna go back. Let's see what we've got going on at the next base. Alright, VOON is already here at Aurora Materials. They're just waiting for the cap to end so they can flip the point.
NC already have the point at Freya Geothermal. VS slowly, again, coming in, drips and drabs, forming up around the beacon, landing on the roof, ready for this assault. Two minutes 40 left to go. Can NC hold this for 2 minutes and 40 seconds? NC Max is getting a few cheeky hits there.
Oh, they can't even get that C4 into the room before they get decapitated with those maxes. That is a real word, decapitated. Beavis and Butthead made it up back in the 90s.
Some GSG Vanguards fighting the lone Mag Rider. 2 Mag Riders.
Player 626 on VS, 3-minute timeout and warp gate for leaving the lane in play.
Somebody was naughty! They're trying to figure out what to do, I think.
NC still on point. It looks like VOON are trying to just probe the defenses, trying to get a few snipes, trying to get the engineers and medics down before they have to deal with the maxes, but with 1 minute on the clock almost, they have to make their push, because as soon as they even get NC off the point, they'll have to hold that point for at least a few more minutes. And I'll give GSG plenty of time to come back if they ever get thrown off the point.
Alright, we're getting C4 effectively in through the windows. Oh, nice! Only the maxes remain and a couple of the heavies. 1 medic. Oh, the medic got that nade out. The NC is back on the point. Damn. It was a good opportunity. Zombies just got eliminated for the VS.
Had those C4 at the window gone off, it could have been a different story. 20 seconds left on the cat.
Lane in play, 3-minute timeout.
2 seconds. And that is GSG with another cat under its belt.
Alright, 2-0. Let's see what happens next. Do they have somebody at the next base? The amp station is objectively a harder cat, but they seem motivated.
The last remaining VS get wiped out. They still have a Sunder in the rear, ready to keep that pressure up. But with a 3-point base...
Multi-point cap, or do you think they're just going to let the VS play whack-a-mole?
They only have to get 1 point.
Oh.
All they have to get is 1 point, get a beacon in, and then once they get everybody in, then they can go for the 3-pointers. All Infiltrator has to do is just keep the VS guessing which point is going to go to next.
Whack-a-mole's a fun game. Alright, we've got the infantry starting to deploy out. I think the Maxes are going to hang out, make sure this cap goes through. Population is building in the amp station hex, so... Alright, I think I see where they're going.
NC still have yet to deal with the hard spawn and the beacon at Freya Geothermal. But now, all NC is going to do now is just run around these 3 points and just keep the VS like ring-a-ring-a-rosy, going round and round in circles.
VS 601 and VS 627, please return to the warp gate. 3-minute timeout for shooting before entering the home base.
NC number 98, please go back to the warp gate. 3-minute timeout for not hitting the home base.
Oof, that's rough. These penalties are serious. They mean it. You have to touch the home base with any aircraft pulled at warp gate before you head into the hex that's in play. Rules be serious, y'all. That's what the kids say these days. Alright.
NC are on 2 capture points. NC Galaxy landing on the B point roof, dropping off its Maxes. All they have to do is hold 2 capture points for 4 minutes.
VS 626, please return to a home base for warp gate for 3-minute timeout.
Oh no, I'm stuck. Come on, stuck. Oh goodness.
VOON's,
Yeah, the keyboard smashing. I just love my cherry browns, what can I say?
VOON moving round, moving south towards B point from behind, get intercepted by a GSG heavy that will now warn NC to their presence, and hopefully we start to see NC moving around to deal with this VOON push outside spawn. NC max goes down, NC coming around to try and at least keep them back from getting to the B point.
Well, I'm trying to figure out this setup that VOON is using as they head towards that B point. I understand the flank, it's just not the angle that I would take, but I guess maybe that's what will catch them by surprise, we'll see.
VOON are in a very precarious position right now, because as they push B, they need to be very much aware that they are next to an NC hard spawn here, and they can get sandwiched if they don't act quick. VOON charge into the lower levels. NC waiting for them with Maxes.
NC number 32, you need to go straight to your home base from the warp gate when pulling vehicles.
Well-timed
3-minute
grenade here,
timeout.
Bravo.
GSG, sorry. Max is doing God's work trying to keep these VS down.
That was a nice
VS
explosion.
601
I
and
think
VS 672, your time out is over. You may return. Please go to your home
Galaxy
base before
finally
firing.
died.
NC98, your timeout is over. You can continue play.
right.
1 minute less on the cap, providing that they can hold all 3 points. VS slowly again coming back onto B point.
Oh, that NG is a saint. That saved them a lot of nanites, being able to res that max.
And the max finally goes down. VS get the B point, but they still have one more to get if they want to stop the clock.
A point is that outdoor point. They could ostensibly cover it with a PPA scythe, but they've chosen not to do that. And this little I building at Charlie, well, they've got maxes in there. I mean, the building itself is a grenade catcher, but it's going to be hard to get bodies in there with that max at the door.
NC regrouping on the A point.
Free to return to the battle. Please go to the home base before firing.
I think for the purpose of the viewers, I will probably at some point at halftime mute the referees. As much as they are doing a very good job, we do apologise if you're hearing the refs speak behind this.
Yeah, you learn something new every day. All right, as you anticipated, we do have a harasser in the base here at A point for Amp Station. We have a Valk drop on point. Let's see what happens. That force multiplier is going to make it pretty hard to push the point.
NC32, you may return to the match. End of round, end of round.
And that is it, end of round. Quite a short game for a short lane.
Round ends 3-0 GSG. Please go to the off continent. We'll have the lane flipped for you promptly.
So as we wait for the content to get flipped and the lane switcherooed, so what's your prediction for the next half?
Well, VOON has shown themselves to be pretty versatile in terms of being able to anticipate their strengths and weaknesses. So I don't think they're going to give up. They're definitely going to put up a good fight, probably a better one than they put up this match. We'll see if GSG gets a little overconfident and relaxes, but somehow I doubt it. They seem to have a lot of fight in them too. What about you?
I feel that I think it's going to be pretty much the same as the first half. It's always the same. You always see that gigantic air battle. We always see, you know, people fighting just for the cinematic effect of like ESF versus ESF. But we saw NC land first in fourth, and I wonder if they'll get that chance again from the opposite side, because all materials will be neutral again, and it all depends on that first base, I think. And as much as I think it's going to be the same as the first half, you know, I've been wrong before. I mean, I think VOON's done quite well to cohesively get back to the capture point, but I do feel like they're taking their time when they probe. They get a few kills and they hang around in doorways and they just wait for the NC guy to come around and flank them.
Please switch continents.
But I do feel that GSG have the better force composition in terms of maxes and engineers and medics. Because too many times have I seen VOON like maxes unsupported, going in alone, drips and drabs.
Yeah, indeed. Timing is definitely the biggest shortcoming I've seen for VOON. As I said, they're very good at assessing their strengths and weaknesses and planning accordingly. But as we already witnessed, the three light assaults at double backs at Manny Lake, at Aurora Materials, who died right as the push was coming up the small stair. That timing couldn't have been worse for them. But I'm always optimistic. I switched over my mic, so hopefully that will help with the audio from my
You may
keyboard.
return to the lane.
I have one more option to try and quiet everything down so people don't have to listen to my Cherry Brown mechanical action happening here. And something delicious smelling is cooking for dinner. I don't know if I can handle it. So I haven't heard any reports that it's better or worse. It could be both.
So I've muted the whisper list now, so hopefully we shouldn't be able to hear the referee chat. It's quite an odd thing though, because now you can hear the rev chat. It makes it like looks like this game's like full of naughty people, but every game is full of naughty people.
I mean, you kind of have to be a bit of a naughty person to play Inside.
Yeah, it's not malicious. It's not malicious, but people do get carried away, and that's the good thing in itself. It is a double-edged sword because people get carried away, they go slightly out of bounds, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it comes from overzealousness, which I certainly can't punish anybody for when they're taking time off from a punishing real world to enjoy a little bit of victory.
So, guys, in the chat, if any sort of technical difficulty, whether it be sound, in-game sound, do let us know in the chat, and I will rectify that best I can. Because it would not be one of my streams if something didn't go wrong.
Yeah, we just gotta roll with the punches and do the best we can with what we got. Usually works out in the end.
So what I do need to do is reset the actual timer.
I have a little mini membrane keyboard hidden away somewhere. It's what I usually use to program new builds when I put them together. That might have to be my go-to for the next match that I cast. Just thinking out loud. Alright, so I'm interested to see who gets on point first, because that will definitely determine a lot for what we see in this next match. Hopefully, VOON learns from their mistake and gets to the point first this time. But we shall see. Weren't we supposed to have a third person casting today? I saw it on the schedule.
It would have been Snips, but his throat apparently is ill, so he won't be casting for us today. Having read the chat, I've just noticed that the overlay is the wrong way around, which I have rectified now, so people should have the right colours.
Alright, I'm waiting for this epic air battle. I'm kind of excited, not gonna lie.
So I might have actually missed the all call because I have turned off Whisper.
Well, I don't see epic air battling happening yet. I did hear the 2-minute warning. VOON is still doing their thing, chilling, waiting for the call, and NC as well.
30 seconds.
Oh, 30 seconds, just in time. I managed to get in there. But I will mute the chat once the start has gone.
Alright, I'm in position to follow the VS squadron into battle. I do enjoy these initial battles.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, VOON definitely took that lesson. They are all over the point with maxes and infantry, but getting there at almost the exact same time as the NC. This could be... Oh, damn.
Absolutely chaos on the ground here. NC just managing to get onto big, small stairs. VS pushing them out aggressively. NC getting what I would have thought sandwiched into a corner. Trying to fight for some breathing space. VS trying to keep them back.
We have no infantry, only maxes left for VS. NC gets that first cap. Let's see if the VS can flip it back. VS do have some spawn logistics. Oh, going in one at a time is never a good idea.
But that drop was absolute chaos. Props to GSG for managing to get grouped up together and holding small stairs. VS Outliers getting picked off by ESF. VS dropping on the roof, trying to take the bridges.
I wonder if a Comet Max would have been a better option to try and control the NC Maxes. I don't know if they could have anticipated how many there would be.
I do feel that was a very bad circumstance on timing where both teams dropped pretty much at the same time, and in that chaos they didn't know really where to land.
Can confirm 10 out of 10 chaos. Alright, so we've got some VOON amassing on the roof. Oh no, not one at a time. Goodbye, little guy, we miss you. And those rocket pods are making the roof very inhospitable to Vanu life forms. Let's see what they're gonna do. Come on, VOON, I know you haven't given up. Let's see you guys get on point. Huge expenditure of nanites, however. That's probably the big limiting factor here. It's hard to get back on point when you don't have any spawn logistics.
GSG, again, pretty much the same setup as last time. Max on skinny and on fat. Or big stairs, little scares, depending on what you call that star.
Well, GSG has now moved to Manny Lake. I see VOON coming from that native spawn. They do have Champ sitting up on the hill with something that really hurts my ego, which is Titan.
NC Reavers keeping VS at Manny Lake. NC Vanguard's already watching the spawn rooms, preventing any sort of VOON vehicle pull. Sundra's trying to break out for VS.
2 tanks are coming here to wipe out the VS spawns. We've got 1 lightning. I don't think that 1 lightning is going to be enough.
Quite a good play by GSG just to keep VOON on Manny Lake and prevent them from getting any sort of spawn solution up to raw materials. The only way now, providing that VOON can get rid of the ESFs, is that the Valkyrie or Galaxy drop onto raw materials, but with that amount of Reavers and 0 scythes seen so far, it's been quite difficult then to leave. They're investing quite a lot into Sunders and Lightning just to primarily break out.
No, it's a huge expenditure of nanites. I don't know if they have enough left to actually make this happen in terms of moving up to the next base. Oh, I see a deployable BR-10.
NC already bringing up their Sunders, ready for the next cap. But it does seem that VOON are turtling on Manny Lake, leaving ore materials uncontested. GSG leaving quite a sizable force on the A point. 30 seconds to go, just waiting for that potential VOON drop in the last few seconds. NC Galaxy coming towards for materials, no doubt about to pick up the squad on the A point, wait for a fresh drop.
Let's see if they can coordinate themselves well enough to get out of this one.
7 seconds.
Ah, VOON, I believe in you, but I believe in everybody. Maybe that's my shortcoming. Alright, so GSG's got a Galaxy ready to pick up these Maxes and drop them at the next base. Very good management of resources here and keeping those Maxes available, because that's a lot of nanites. Those force multipliers are very meaningful when you are fighting what is now effectively an infantry-only force.
VOON Sunders waiting for this drop. Will they get decimated? GSG moving around to the cliffside, going through one of the doorways. NC are in the room. Max on Max. NC and VS Maxes go down. 2 Maxes remaining. 1 engineer. VOON coming up behind the Maxes. Kills the support. But now VOON know they're pretty much wiping NC, or at least attempting to. This would be the perfect time to get an infiltrator to order materials to get a back cap. Now they know that NC are investing themselves on this base and they can't possibly defend our material unless they redeploy. But I think NC just get the cap. Resonators go out. Maxes get revived. Here comes the ESF, already plaguing this base. NC harasses the vanguards on the hill. I think they've been there for quite a while now, just hampering any sort of VOON push.
Oh, the expenditure of nanites and ammunition is truly breathtaking.
I have yet to see any sort of Vanu air support.
Oh, the punishing air hammers. I see 1 VS Max. I'm gonna follow the journey of this one little VS Max as they sort of probe into this entrance to the L building. They've got that AI turret set up. Makes it very difficult. Along with the canister harasser. Let's see if they could take it out. Oh, they finally got a Comet Max. That was smart. That's what I like to see. I feel like this whole group of VS trying to take out this 1 AI turret. This is, oh gosh. This hurts my heart. Alright, they finally got that 1 AI turret.
C4 goes out, kills a VS Max. VS holding the doorway, asking to get C4'd.
But they executed what could have been an effective pincer maneuver, but not quite the timing we needed. GSG is just not off balance enough to crumble under this pressure that the VS is trying to apply.
1 minute 20 on the cap. NC still have spawn solutions, still have beacons.
Well, this is a difficult base in terms of setting up snipers to try and keep the other team off balance. There's just no good line of sight for anybody with a Vandal or some sort of whatever sniper rifle tickles you. And they're just, the VS are distributing themselves well between these 2 entrances, but so are the NC. people are responding very quickly as the VS try to probe either of these entrances. And they're getting a lot of good support from their air in terms of suppressing this this square building, which is where the VS are amassing. Oh, the punishing air hammers is so bad. Just demoralizing. Also, this harasser doing the same job.
20 seconds on the cap. Will this be another cap for GSG? And do they have anybody in the biolab ready to get that capture point?
Are you gonna go check or am I?
I'll go check. VOON waiting on the air pad. Get gunned down by NC Reavers. Completely destroying the welcome party. Good timing by that ESF. Managed to clear the pad just to allow NC to try to attempt to get some sort of beachhead on that air pad. B and C is flipping inside the biolab. What sparse defenders have been pretty much wiped out by that ESF, giving NC time to slowly push into generator building. NC Max has already establishing themselves on small stairs. Will they be audacious and will they push out to control the spawn?
They are. They're going to suppress that spawn. There are a lot of light assaults, and there's a lot of soft cover for light assaults, and those air hammers cannot help them here.
Very risky move by NC here. I mean, they do have the time, they do have the score to do things like this, but at the same time, they're asking for VOON light assaults to essentially pick them apart with C4. But they managed to get all the way to B point pretty much uncontested, and if GSG were to pretty much spawn camp him now, that would buy them sufficient time. 2 minutes on the capture point.
I wonder what's going to happen to that air support now that they're inside this building. Because unlike the amp station, there's just not real access for anything with an air hammer. Alright, I see VS amassing in the banana building. They're thinking about going up bridge, and then I've got some VS also at small stair, but I don't think there are enough of them to make this stick.
But as VOON wiped out that NC Max push, it would have been perfect for them to use that momentum to push into generator building, because the longer that they take to get into generator, the more time they give NC to set up. And we see the B NC 2 Maxes run again back to generator building, pushing onto A point, backtracking into gen.
Timing.
Will we see NC push into banana building and essentially sandwich the VOON response?
Alright, VOON has flipped back A. They've got B under control, but now it's about C, and they have to unseat the GSG from C before they can move back to the next base, and the timer is not in their favor at this point. They've got those turrets set up, but they're very close to the door. Any light assault with good aim could take those two out. And of course, the C4 is a big expenditure of resources, but probably worth it in this case. Ah, here we go. Let's see if it's going to do it. Oh, taken out.
It just seems that GSG have done really well to see where VOON are switching to and slowly bringing people forward to keep them at bay and keep them contested and essentially corral them into a kill boxes. But as we see NC slowly try and push back into A point, VS giving ground, trying to bring NC into the capture point. Unfortunately for the VS, they don't manage to hold A point.
SCU compromised. Generator destroyed.
NC is taking advantage of the high ground, which is really important in biolabs, but I also see VS up here.
NC, get the gen countdown.
Good use of the light assaults by the VS. Oh, excellent use of counter light assaults. Storm my life. Good thing
This
we did.
is a lot of effort by VS to retake the SCU generator. Can they resecure? And will we see NC essentially wipe them out again? NC pushing the SCU gen.
Well, they made the mistake in throwing the rep grenades into the SCU room instead of into the powerhouse. If they had that shield up, they'd be able to stop the generator or stop the SCU countdown more easily.
Will we see the revives? Will we see VOON get back up on the SU gen and use this time now and momentum to push into generator room? They have to invest manpower to defend the SU gen. With 3 minutes left on the cap, they only need to get essentially B point to stop the timer. Sorry, C point. No, I'm talking crap. A point.
Gotta get those rep grenades into the powerhouse building.
I don't know why this biolab has to be special with the A, B, and C, but
They just do it to mess with us. The devs are usually so organized, that's gotta be why. I'm not a salty vet or anything.
NC doing quite a good job to resecuring the SU gen. Ooh, 1 second. We're starting to see a lot more max use by VOON this round.
Do you think the nanites have repopulated?
Perhaps.
See the good use of the rep grenades, but they need to throw them into the powerhouse! Throw them in the powerhouse! They just need that shield.
VS making their push now, managed to wipe quite a considerable amount of NC. This is the time VOON need to push into generator room. You need to get onto small scares. Don't stop at the doorway. Don't let a little hard light barrier stop you. Keep pushing. Through to generator. Get that generator up. A few VS Maxes hesitate on the stairwell, allowing NC to get some C4 going. Engineers need to be on the generator right now so they can free up manpower to resecure this base. 30 seconds on the clock. No engineers in sight.
Go onto that generator. And now they're throwing the rep grenades upstairs in recovery. Oh, this hurts my heart.
NC really quick on the regrouping there. Managed to counterattack down the stairs, and they're again pushing the SU gen. And we're back to square one with 10 seconds on the cap. Can B point flip to V? Oh, and the NC get A. 5 seconds. 3, 2. Oh, we're still on 3 seconds. 1. And it is a cap by GSG. We saw some pretty decent tit for tat there.
Well, on an infantry level, I feel like there were a lot of really good matchups. The issues came right down to timing and coordination.
Stabilized.
If VOON had been, a little better timing, a little better coordination, they definitely would have had a better fight. Because on an infantry level, I think they were very, very close. I'm interested to see the statistics from the match, headshots and all the other fun stuff.
So both rounds really quick, but quite a short lane. Normally we see biolabs essentially get drawn out and teams turtling on one of the points and occasionally sending one or two individuals to count the rest. But what we saw by GSG was quite good. Like they managed to like have smaller teams, like max pairs going and switching from B to C all the time, and quite good to see by them. But at the same time, it's quite good to see VOON always managing to redeploy and keep that pressure on. So I think we're just going to wait until we have the reps into the casting channel, and then we'll go into the interviews.
Yeah, I'm ready to pull them up here. I'm very interested to hear what they have to say. I mean, I'm looking at the team and like the fantastic players on both sides. People I run into on live sometimes. Alright, yeah, we just need one more rep and we're ready to rumble. Are we pulling them up here or are we going down there?
User left your channel.
Alright, show
Channel
up.
switched.
Oh, hello.
Which one?
Your GSG counterpart. Who was
I thought
who
Rapid was here.
Where did he go? Oh, he is here. He's just muted. Well, I don't want to talk to him either. How do you feel about all of this, Nagina?
It is what it is. I feel like we faced a. Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we are live. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we faced a very different team than that played the last round, which shocked us. But we know we've got a couple mid fits that individually are we all have something to work on.
Look, there's no question going forward that each team will get a lot out of this experience. I felt like the infantry matchups were actually much closer than you're giving yourself credit for. The big barriers for VOON were timing and coordination, because sometimes the light assaults were dead at bridge, and then people were trying to push up small, and the pincer just wasn't there. But that's obviously I have a different perspective on the game because I did not have the pressure of actually playing. Do you have any thoughts about that?
For sure, something
User joined your
that
channel.
we've always struggled with is well, not always in the context of the last month or so of prepping for this is pushing in a unified manner, especially against dug-in scat maxes. So definitely agree. The individual infantry play, I don't know. I have to talk to my guys. I definitely feel like there was a gap there as well, including myself.
So you're saying you're not robots? Okay, I get it.
We're not, no.
So what was your thoughts composition then? What was like your makeup of your team?
In terms of like the opener and vehicles versus infantry?
Essentially, like, was it because we didn't see that many size, but obviously, as we all know, any sort of like event always has that epic beginning, like air battle. So were you guys pretty much focused on just on the infantry, or did you have like any plans for like say force multipliers, that kind of thing?
Well, I think those plans could have been made and were, but were ultimately irrelevant because they dropped both their squads, well, most of both their squads on point as fast as they could. And I think that's the right call for Aurora. It's very hard to affect the interior from the exterior. We went going into this with maybe 40% up in the air with the intention to maintain AMSs to the outside and the intention to keep Bulldog gals up. But yeah, 60 seconds in, it was obvious all that was irrelevant once they really got dug in with what looked like 15 bodies or so.
User
And
joined your channel.
we just couldn't dig them out. So we had spawns up, and the spawns stayed there through the rest of the game, but ultimately it just didn't matter.
It was quite unfortunate timing, because especially in the second round, of both teams pretty much dropped at the same time our materials, and it just looked like absolute chaos, to be honest.
Right, and I think what we need to get better on in the future is during that few seconds of chaos, removing the folks that are dropping, because we were a bit more concerned with the buses to the exterior and gunners and the gals, but all that just didn't matter once they got critical mass of bodies on point, and they did that section of the fight better than we did.
So if there's anything in hindsight that you would have done differently, what would it be?
Well, we need to train more. I just came back to PlanetSide a few months ago, and the outfit that we work with and ourselves haven't done anything competitive until this stuff.
Your channel was edited.
So the last few matches have really been all the training we've done. We've sat down and talked and looked at points and things like that, but innate coordination is something that we'll just keep working on live and come back to LaneSmash with.
Do you think you'll have a backup plan for the future in terms of if you have, I remember you used to have loadouts for having no nanites back in the server smash days. Is that something you'll plan for in the future?
Yeah. So every match we played here, we've identified what we need to fix and attempt to fix it the next time. And go.
Hindsight's always 20/20, for better or worse.
Sure, and we don't practice 3-4 times a week on Jaeger. We sort of get on and look at it, mess around, and play some 5v5s, and maybe we'll do okay in the next LaneSmash. So this isn't entirely unexpected, but yes, I don't fully remember your question, but the answer is yes.
I'm Foet. Let's hear the other side of this. Who's going to speak for GSG? I see we've got Rapid, Regal, and Chronic here.
I've spoken multiple times in the interviews, so I think it's time for Chronic and Regal to speak for me.
I'll talk this time.
Because Chronic is going to be the air lead, and Regal is the infantry lead. So
yeah. So from my perspective, it was a really great match. I want a quick shout out to the VOON Liberator pilot. I don't know who that was, but that guy scared the hell out of me and my guys. He was pressuring us. I got shot down by him 3 times, I think, in that match. But it was great. What I noticed that we needed to do better was definitely like a lot of like translating the air victories into ground victories. I felt in the second round we did a lot better, but in the first round we were kind of struggling to pick that up. Besides that, though, honestly, we've come a long way. Our guys really have been working on communication. And that was something that we failed on our last match. So on this match, we really pushed for it, and all the teams were working together really well. I want to shout out the armor team in particular, calling when they could provide support for the air team, and calling out buses and sky guards and mag riders that have flak on them, stuff like that. Calls like that really save the air team, save the nanites, because that's a huge part of this, is just being nanite efficient. Every time we take out a mag rider with an ESF, that's 100 nanite difference. So
yeah, I agree. Being miserly with your nanites is really important in these games. Like I was noticing the Galaxy picking up the maxes at Aurora Materials to take them to the next base, and I was a little surprised that you let the Galaxy go, but you were right in the end that the maxes were what was important.
Yeah, maxes were definitely the important point, or the important part of that. Although the infantry team, we weren't so stressed because they don't have a lot of nanite sinks. as far as I know, when it came to taking Manny Lake Satellite, my call for my guys was to just spend all your nanites. You're not going to need them in the biolab. Like, honestly, you're just going to need a rocket launcher and your anchor in the biolab. So I told my air guys to spend all your nanites. If you get shot down, repull. Just keep pressuring. Once we have satellite, we just go into the bio. And that was the plan.
So you might find this interesting. I'm looking at the statistics from the game that were just provided to me. Thank you very much. As you would expect, NC had a lot more team kills, nearly twice what VS did. But the NC had 50% more actual kills, but the headshot ratios were very close, which is what I was witnessing. The VS were very efficient with their revives, about a third more revives than the NC. And I mean, overall, to me, this looks like what I was seeing, which was a fairly, not totally inappropriately matched infantry. The big barriers were timing and coordination, and it sounds like GSG was really focusing on that. And I know VOON will take this lesson to the next match that we see.
Yeah. It was a great match.
Can I ask? Is that data going to be available to look at?
It's it's in the channel. Do you see it down there?
So speaking of next matches, so we'll go off the list here. Looking at the schedule for next week, VOON, your next opponent, I believe, if this is correct, is PTSD. So what's your prediction for that?
Which one? PTSD. We played them on Amrish, I believe. Okay, yeah, thanks, Graham. I think we gave them a good run for their money the last time we played them, and it should be very evenly matched, I think, this next time around.
And GSG, your next opponent next week is OP. What's your prediction?
I don't want to make any kind of calls. We've watched their matches. They look like a good team. They play very defensively. We try to adapt to what we see, but honestly, I'm eager and excited for that match. I think we're gonna come out on top, but I'm not gonna make any kind of jinxy calls. That's always the hope.
It's time to see. Like, I spent, I don't even look at the next week's match until I finish watching this week's, but I spend probably 10, 20 hours probably watching VODs of the previous matches. The RSPC match, I never got to watch those VODs because I had finals, and I think that's what hurt us as well. Just the poor time slot and then finals for a lot of people. But I think this OP match, we're gonna come out swinging, especially with this ban list. I'm gonna have some fun with it.
Yeah, those gentlemen's agreements fall in our favor.
Except the Maxwell, man. I wish.
Yeah, I know.
They let us go get back our scatter cannons, man.
Great though. A lot of fun, guys. It was a great match.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
there's no other team we would want to play at the end of the day, because you guys are from Emerald. So every other team in the bracket, we're like, I don't even know who you are, man. I don't even care. Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, the only reason we signed up was because VKTZ said they would sign up if we did. So.
Did they?
Yeah.
And then they never did. AKTC. No, you mean VOON.
No shade.
No shade.
Be playing with Keen.
It was great though. Good job, guys. Everyone did a good job.
Yeah, well played to both teams.
Also to the referees and everybody else who helped organize. We could not do it.
Shout out to the referees finally enforcing the rules. No shade, but
oh my god, Chronic chill. Yo,
yeah.
after LaneSmash,
I got some questions about that for sure.
So you'll see, if you watch the VOD back, you will literally see how incessant that referee chat is, and I do apologize to the viewers for that. Normally that's kind of a semi-muted whisper list, essentially. I don't know what was the problem there, but I think in the end we did manage to sort that out. To the players, thank you very much for coming. It was a pleasure to watch. To the viewers, thank you very much for watching. This pretty much wraps up the last game of this weekend, as we look forward to weekend 3 next weekend. So for you guys, is there anything else you guys want to say?
I'm just excited for when this is all over. We're gonna, if you guys are interested, V and Moon, let's do some joint ops. Let's see Because we've done drawouts before. I want to see how much more disgusting it would be after LaneSmash and all this practice. How well we're gonna do.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Thanks, people. Later on.
Yeah. See you guys.
Peace out, stream.
Cheers, guys.
All right.
Have a nice night.
You too, guys.
User disconnected from your
So I got to
channel.
get my my lib pilot and ask him some questions about, because we had
User disconnected from your
we
channel.
had like 4 people out during the first a long period of time.
I feel like you had 7 people that got sat out
Yeah.
at one point. We had, I think, 2.
Channel switched.
So as we wrap up this stream then, ladies and gentlemen, I am just going to slowly go through the next week calendar if I can. I don't think I can show it on stream, just the way this is done, but just to give you a quick run through before I manage to cut the stream. May the 23rd is quite a big day with 4 games being played on May the 21st. Starting from 1400 UTC all the way up to 21 UTC, followed by 2 games on May 24th. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next weekend.